Welcome to the Wrexham Coffee Matchup. I'm Dave.
And I'm Courtney. Each week, we'll take a few minutes to catch up on the latest news from Wrexham. From matchups to transfers, on and off the pitch, we'll share our takes on it all.
So grab a coffee and join us.
Hey Dave, how are you doing?
Pretty good. We've had a really busy week on the field to catch up on, don't we?
We do. 2 matches.
2 matches and good results from both overall. So why don't we dive right in and start talking about the Oxford City match last weekend, which was, drum roll, our first home win of the season in the league.
Go Wrexham! We have been waiting for this for a long time. I think it was a well-deserved victory, but also much needed.
It was a well-deserved, but it was not an easy victory.
Nope.
So I think if you were looking at the tables and you see where we stacked up, we were very similar in the standings, but we really had to fight and kind of earn that victory. And I think that we did earn it overall. But it was interesting because this was the first time we started to see some real change-ups in the lineup from the previous matches. Parky usually keeps it pretty consistently, but we got to see Kakache, Broadhead, James and Thomason starting in the lineup. So after last week, they all heard us and said, when do we get Broadhead and Moore together? Well, that happened. So I'll pretend it was our influence.
Sure, of course.
But it was just a really, really interesting, fun match to watch, which made it more fun once we got past some commentary problems that we were having with iFollow, was that Mark Howard was on the commentary team this time. So we got to hear a recent player's perspective, and he really gave like insights on how he felt the players would be feeling in different situations, which was really fun to listen to.
Mm-hmm. It threw me a little bit just because I don't have in my mind what his voice sounds like. And so I hear Mark, great, got it. I hear Mia, lovely, wonderful. And then I hear this other person and I think, who is that? Or he starts speaking and I think, oh, did they cut to the different commentary? And then I just had to remember, no, there's a guest today. It's all fine.
Yes, but I mean, we got off to a great start, very early goal from Broadhead to kind of set the tone for the day. And we had a couple really great chances for follow-up goals, which would have been nice because that would have put the match away early. But unfortunately, we had some issues in the second half. They brought on they kind of rejiggered their whole lineup at halftime. And I think it took us a while to readjust to the new form. And we really had to work hard to defend. So I felt like the second half was a very different match in that sense. There was one thing that I had never seen before and honestly never heard of before.
I think most people, because I think I know what you're going to say.
The concept of an indirect free kick in the penalty box. I've never heard or seen that, and it was quite an interesting scramble of activity to watch. I did a little bit of poking around afterwards, and apparently an indirect free kick it's issued when there's a foul that's away from the ball. But it happened to have happened in the penalty box, and so everyone scrambles up in that small space between the penalty line and the goal, but the kick has to touch another player before a shot can be made, or else any goal would not be good. And so
that makes so much sense. Okay, I followed that like a straight line.
But I remember watching it and the 2 replays that they showed of it because it was just so wild, and I think everyone was trying to make sense of what was going on in that moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, and then we got to see Windass come in sort of at around the 60-minute mark to kind of infuse some additional energy. And we were hoping that would lead to like a goal that would put away the match for us. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because Doyle was issued a red card at the 67-minute mark. And that really changed the tone where we then had to struggle to protect the match. I think we did an amazing job. They didn't really have that many options in that last 30 minutes, but it still made for a tense wrap up to the match.
Yeah. I mean, you really have to switch in that moment when you're down a player. your strategy on the field really needs to change. It was interesting for me because in a classic move, I fell asleep around minute 65. And I say that because I saw the substitutions and I thought, oh, great, some early subs before minute 70, minute 60. This is pretty good. But I did not see the red card. So when I woke up around like minute 89 or 90 and saw the little, the little notion, the little icon showing that we had a red card, I kind of went, wait, what? Like waking up in a stupor trying to figure out what had gone on.
Yeah, and what you also missed is sort of like in that window, somewhere in the 80 something minute mark, they brought on Sam Smith, and Sam came out attacking. He had a good 3 shots on goal in the last 5 minutes, and he was really out there to try to seal the deal, and it just unfortunately didn't happen. So what, aside from the indirect free kick, which was something new, what did you think of the goal line technology goal that we had?
I thought that was really interesting. So there has been a huge change in the way, not necessarily a change, but there has been a lot of technological innovation in sports in the last 10, 15, 20 years. And I remember the first sport that I really was aware of it because of being a big fan was in tennis, where you would see the recreation of the ball, when you get the tiny little bit that's on the line. So, it's in, or whether it's out. And this technology has really brought its way through to multiple other sports and American football, to see if you've reached a first down here in what the rest of the world calls football, or what we call soccer, to look at, if the ball has crossed the plane of the goal. And I think it's the first time that I had seen that. So the version of replay in soccer is called VAR, which I don't remember, virtual assistance replay. I don't remember what it stands for. But they don't have that technology in Championship. They have it in the Premier League. And so this was the first goal that I had seen using this goal line technology. So for a tech nerd like me, that was really cool to see, and to see how it's implemented. And apparently the ref...
And how they show the replay, which is interesting too. Yeah.
And I hope I'm not mixing up matches. But I think they were also saying the ref gets like a notification on his watch that basically that has been activated and a goal has been made. And I thought that was pretty cool too.
Pretty cool, but it was strange because there was this moment where the shot was taken. It looked like it was deflected. Everyone in the audience just said, okay, not a goal, waiting for what's next. And then our team started celebrating. Yeah. And it was just a strange disconnect. But the way that they showed the replay was fascinating to me, because they showed the goal go in, and the goalie was obviously standing behind the line when he made the save. And then the technology stripped out all the humans and the goal line, and you just saw the ball and the line, and it was like, it was a goal. But it's interesting because they put that in at the beginning of the season, but this is the first time after 6 or 7 or 8 matches at home that we actually got to see it implemented. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought that was definitely cool.
Did you have any other thoughts on the overall match, or are we just like taking our win and we're moving on to the next one?
So there is a running joke on Blue Sky where people sort of say, all right, put your betting house hats on, and what minute do you want to bet that the comms will go out? And it seems that it's typically at the start of the second half, around minute, let's say 50 to 60, kind of in that range. And so it was kind of fun, not funny, but I had turned on the match early and it was dark. There was just nothing. And I thought, ooh, all right, maybe this will be our little glitch first. And it actually ended up being what happened. We had the start of the match with different commentators, which going back to the previous match, I just thought, oh no, I cannot have another Stoke City match. And then Mark and Mia kicked in. I don't remember, maybe it was 20 minutes in or so. But just kind of going back to our conversation in the last episode around the power of commentary and how that can set you up for how you feel about the match.
Right. Luckily, it didn't distract from the match this time, unlike the Stoke City match. But it was nice when we got the real commentary, especially since we knew that Mark Howard was going to be joining the team this week. And I don't think they knew they weren't on for quite a while. And
They
so I
discovered
think
it later, I think. Yeah.
so it's sort of they just kind of go about their business and then they try to figure out later on if they've actually talked about something or not. So it's got to be amazing the way their brains work that quick of turnaround time, because you can't stop and there's no pausing.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we got it worked out mostly pretty early on. But it just makes you wonder. It's like, with all the money that goes into EFL football, can't they fix the comms?
And okay, I get things like power issues. Like that might be something that is, first of all, it does not happen very often. And, second of all, that could be something that has some ripple effect, that has some other issues. That I get. There's not been a power outage at every match where we've had issues, though. So I agree. It would be really nice to have some consistency in that. But if we look forward to the next match against Middlesbrough, it was 13 minutes in. That was I think it was a corner kick or there was a penalty shot, and like the player was lining up for it. I don't remember all the details. And it went quiet, and it was just for a second where you thought maybe they're waiting, right, in anticipation of what's going to happen. And then it happened, and then there's nothing. And so Blue Sky was, all right, who had 13 minutes?
So what did you think about the Middlesbrough match this week?
So the Middlesbrough match, it was a rare weekend match that I got to watch, and I am so glad I did. I have been had been nervous for the match the whole week. And I wrote to you, I said, Dave, where has this team been the last few matches? It was great that we won against Oxford City. I felt like something was off. I didn't feel like we were really playing to our full potential, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't tell you why. I don't think that we played poorly, but seeing how we played against Middlesbrough, it was like, that's why, because we didn't play like that. It was only that comparison. So we kind of have had this curse, I don't know, where we play one great half and that's it. We had this fantastic first half, and I thought, ooh, what's going to happen in the second half? How are we going to, are we going to be able to have another great half? And the Middlesbrough team actually totally changed up. I think they had 3 or 4 subs right out the gate at the start of the second half. And then I thought, it's basically a new team. Maybe we can get that magic back and have another good half. And we did. It's true, we did not win, but to come in with a draw and to be leading the match for 80 minutes?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right. And if only that beautiful header opportunity by Moore, if he was only a little shorter than 6'5", then
how
maybe
dare
he would have made
so
that. But that was one of 2 chances that we had to really kind of go up to 2-0, which would have changed the dynamic. But still, I mean, we did play amazing the whole time. So my first 10 minutes of the match is I had to constantly remind my brain that we are not the team in red. We were wearing blue and white for the first time. And so it was sort of that mental shift.
Yeah.
But, Windass during the week, he went and he retouched his blonde highlights and
thank
got
goodness
his magic back and scored that beautiful first goal that we had. And then the other key thing I noticed is that at the 60-minute mark, they brought in O'Brien, Kakache, and Broadhead. So it's sort of like a flip of the previous match, right? And this is the moment where I'm starting to see, okay, this is why we have the depth of the team that we have. And this is how that Parky's going to use it or can use it. These matches where you have 2 back-to-back matches, you have two very strong teams that can kind of interact together,
Hmm.
or pieces of which that can be
Yeah.
interchanged, and everyone can still shine, whether it's for
Hmm.
30 minutes or 60 minutes or the full 90, like a few people.
Yeah. And I think we've got depth enough that we can vary that depending on what the situation is, right? Do we need to bring on someone that's going to help us score because we are tied or we're behind? Do we have, are we down? Do we need to bring on a bit more defense? We've or not, I guess that wouldn't be if we're down or down a man, maybe. Um, but we've got depth at so many positions that yeah, we can bring in the people that we need when we need them. I also really like these earlier substitutions.
So do I, because I mean, we did bring in Smith, came in at around 85 minutes,
Sure.
and he came in on full attack, but
Again.
there just wasn't enough time
Yeah.
to, or the opportunities just weren't right. And it's like, I like when they come in at 60 also, because then that gives everyone time to resettle into the routine and the rhythm and sort of make an impact over a longer period of time.
Yeah. I understand the value of that in certain situations. If you need to have a late sub, but I agree. I like these subs that are happening a bit earlier in the match. Um,
Right.
okay, you've brought up a bit of a buzzword. So
Sam
you
Smith.
said, yeah, you said, well, we should have a question of the week. And I said, that sounds fantastic. What's the question for this week? And you said, Sam Smith, which is not a question, but it is a question.
It is a question. It's something that we both have been. I mean, we've had strong opinions since he
Yeah.
joined the team, and as the season's progressing this year, it's like I'm amazed that he is contributing as much as he's contributing to the team
Hmm.
with a very limited amount of time on the field, right?
So limited.
So we're 12 matches in to the season. He's been on the field 10 times. So he's
Okay.
played in 10 of those 12 matches, but he only has 139 minutes across those 10 matches.
Yeah.
So he's been averaging less than 14 minutes per match.
Hmm.
He has scored a
And how
goal.
many chances
Oh,
has
so many
he?
chances. So many
Yeah.
chances. And it's one of those things that you're talking about. It's like, what would happen if he came in at 60 minutes consistently?
Yeah.
How would that change the shape of the team? What would that do? Because it's almost like I don't see an obvious partnership with him and the other players in the
Okay.
way that we see Moore and Windass have formed a nice partnership. Moore and Broadhead
Hmm.
obviously have something going.
Yeah.
O'Brien supports everybody. I mean, O'Brien is really, I think, the linchpin here when he's playing, is that he sets up these goals and Kabori
Hmm.
sets up these goals. But he hasn't had enough time to really like make a huge impact other than his quick bursts of
Sure.
attempts and options. So, yeah. What do you think about this whole thing?
I think it's really interesting because we were very critical of him a year ago
Mhm.
and did not really see the value, I would say, of
Right.
him. It was kind of like, yeah, okay. And then they brought him and he didn't make a big impact, I would say. And now, this particularly the last couple of matches, he has made such a huge impact, not in terms of number of goals, but in terms of how many almost goals. And you need those
Mhm.
shots on goal to get a goal. And he's
Right.
created so many of those. Um, yeah, I'm really curious to see how he will be a part of the team moving forward. I'm thinking ahead to the cup match that we've got. Um, would he start? Is he going to play? What we've seen is that players that haven't had as much playing time in the league matches, we've seen a bit more in cup matches, but now here we are in the fourth round. So I don't know, but I would really love to see him have an opportunity to make a bigger impact going forward, whether that means bringing him on a little bit earlier, whether that means partnering him with someone. But I'm really interested to see where this goes.
I completely agree. So looking ahead, this week we have another very, very busy week.
Yeah.
So on Tuesday, October 28th, we're back at home against Cardiff City in the the Carabao Cup fourth round. So we mentioned this is only, I think, the fourth or fifth time we've ever made it to the fourth round. And we haven't met up against Cardiff City since 2004. So 21 years ago was the last time we played each other. Cardiff City was relegated to League One at the end of last season, but they're currently sitting in first place of League One after 13 matches. So they're in strong position to come back up to the championship next season.
Yeah.
Which, if they did do that and both Swansea and Wrexham stay in the championship, then we would have all three major Welsh teams in the championship next year, which would be very interesting to watch as well too.
Nice.
So we're hoping for a nice, well, it's definitely going to be a spirited game, a lot of Welsh spirit at the race course this week. But if we make it to the quarterfinals, the next round, that will be the last time we were there was in 1978. And we had only made it to the quarter times one time before that, back in 1960. So this is we're getting to the wire of the cup, and like we say, we want to put in a strong appearance and make it all the way to Wembley this year. That would be my dream, at least.
That would be great for sure.
Yeah.
Couple hurdles, just a couple to get over first.
and then after that, on Friday, we have unlike our usual Saturday match, we have another Friday match this week, October 31st, at home again, this time against Coventry. So Coventry is currently sitting in first place in the championship, so it's another really big match.
Yeah. So
let's channel our energy and hope the team that showed up on Saturday shows up again on Friday, because it's going to be a really challenging one. This is the first time we're playing in a league match against them since 1964. So it's been a very long time since we've been in the same league with them. We last met them up in January of 2023 at the FA Cup when we were back in the National League, and we won that match 4-3. So it was an exciting underdog match. They were one of the first Premier League teams in 1992. And they stayed in the Premier League until 2001. They then dropped as low as League Two down in 2017, but they made their way back up to the championship in 2020. So they've been a pretty solid championship team the last couple of years. And like I said, they're in really strong position this season. So
definitely solid right now.
Looking forward to that match as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I hope the team that was there for Middlesbrough is there for Coventry. I hope that all of the fans wear what you wore, do what you did, eat what you ate. We need to recreate that magic. That would be really great.
Yes. And so, remember that this one is not on video on iFollow because
Coventry?
Some strange reason. Yes. So Friday. Oh, no. Sorry. The Cardiff City Cup match. Sorry. I got confused here. So Tuesday's match is not on iFollow, but it is on Paramount Plus here in the US, or if you're in the UK, it's on ITV1 will be showing that match. So,
okay.
Yes.
And then Coventry should be on iFollow.
Coventry is on iFollow. I did check that this morning. So sorry. I misspoke. It gave you a heart attack there.
I thought, oh no, there's two that I can't watch this week. Okay. Just one. That's fine.
Just one.
Good.
So, yes.
All right. Well, I look forward to talking about two matches again in our next episode. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
You can also email us at wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. All one word. That's wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at wxmcoffeematchup.
From the cop to your coffee cup, that's all for today's Wrexham Coffee Matchup. Keep it brewing, keep it red, and as always, up the town.